So now coming to the remaining operations of strings, mainly into the slicing of the strings. So in the last class, we have discussed about the string indexing in terms of how to individually go for a particular character. At the time, I told what is this concept of forward and reverse indexing. To be precise, there will not be anything like a reverse index. It's just like a logical index. So to help us better when you are working with last values, in other languages, we don't have this kind of logical thing, but every language will have the forward indexing. Generally, 95% of the languages will have so starting index as 0. So that's why when you have a length of the string, you will go till the last value, but doesn't include the last value. So these were the conclusions we have drawn in the last class. Now going further within the string operations, next is like the string slices. As I told just now, in terms of the string slices, we will work with the same operation as we worked yesterday. So in the string operations, mainly the slicing, string slicing operations. First, the shebang line, which is not mandatory, but it's the best thing to have. Then we will have the doc strings, where we'll specify what is the point about. Then I'm taking this Python programming. I can take any string. As we are working on the same string, it's better to be like that. We are going. I showed the forward indexing and reverse indexing. I told even a white space will also carry one space, one position. Fine. And now, if I'm asking to print this language, then what will happen? It will print it. So first we need to print means we need to go to the directory. So ls, we need to go to 02 basics. Now again ls, you are in the string operations 02. Again ls, you have the files directly. So we can do Python space, what is the file name? E. So I need not write the entire thing, just give a tab. With E, if there are multiple, then we need to give few other characters. It will execute. Now, if you want to clear the screen, this is how. So if you want to clear the screen and run again, Python E so and so. So you can see when you're printing, you are getting only the programming language. But what is indexing, sir? Indexing means referring to one of the characters. With respect to a number, you give an index. At that index, if there is a value, it will give, else it will throw an error. That we have seen. If I see 0, what is at the 0th position? P. You got it. You give the position, I give the value at that position or character at the position. Now, sir, what is the slicing concept means? Slicing means like, so generally the slicing can be applied on any iterable object. We will understand iterable object means anything on which we can apply a for loop. On an integer, we cannot apply a for loop. That's why till now we didn't use it. On strings, we can do. And what is this kind of slicing means? As the name says, we take a piece of it. So indexing means addressing a specific individual position, whereas slicing means you are taking a part of it. So when you're taking a part, we should specify the starting and ending index. So if I go with like the starting and ending index, that's where we'll understand. So first I'll go for something called as 0 through 11. So in this case, you see, from 0 it will start 0, 1, 2, 3. So like this we should see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like till 11 means this thing. But when you ask to print it, did you notice that it is not giving this value R, Python space PROGR, but it is going till 10 only, right? So you need to understand that slicing will go till the last value, but doesn't include the last value. If I repeat the same thing, say like I'm going with multiple examples. If I say 5 to 17, from 5th position till the 17th position means we should include even G. But when you execute it, you will not get the Z in the last. Means from the starting index, it will go till the final index, but doesn't include the final index. This is one of the note that we need to have. In Python, it doesn't include the last value in a boundary condition. There is only one exception. I will tell when you're going to random. So except that random function, everywhere, wherever you have any kind of boundary condition, it will go till the last value, but doesn't include the last value. Now you can tell me, what if I want this word called as Python? What should be the index? Should I make 0 through 5 or 0 through 6? So if I give like 0 through 5, I'll get only till Python. N will be missing because it will go till the last value, but doesn't include the last value, last character, right? So that's how you need to understand. And one more thing, generally, if I go for the language of any character which is not present, if I give like 888, what will happen? Whether I print or not, I am accessing this value, it will throw an error, right? Indexing means we can ask the values only till these positions. If you ask anything beyond, it will throw an error. But if you go for the slicing, if I give like a 0 through 18, if I go 0 through 18, 0 through 18 means what? It will go till 18, but as 18 character will not be there, it will go till 17 only, right? It will go till the last. So that's why you get like programming ing. If I go for till 99, 99 is not present. So, and third option, you see, 45 to 87 means in the third option, neither the indices are present. In all these three cases, did you see that it is not throwing any error? So that is the difference between indexing and slicing. Indexing, if you ask beyond a particular position, it will throw an error. Whereas slicing is like an optimistic. Means like, if we don't have, it will give, it will not give anything. If it have, it will give it. So if you see in this case of 7 to 18, till what it has, it gave 7 to 999. Though you gave till 999, but the values are till 17 only. So did you see that you got the same result? And similarly, in the case of 45 to 87, so neither of these characters positions are present in the string. So instead of throwing error, it gave like an empty string. So that is what you need to understand. And in the logic, how it is happening in the backend to understand. So generally, when you give like some example, like, 7 to 777. So this is what you give, right? Starting index, final index. But in the back end, it is taking one more option called a step. Till now, you never given a step, right? You are giving only two values. Then what would be the default step? Is +1. So when you are giving 7 to 18 or 7 to 18 with a step of 1, both will give the same result. So what actually happening? First, you give these index positions. Based upon that, it will generate all the indices which are valid. So for that, it will try to check whether a particular character is present at that position and then combine that. So initially 7 to 18 with a step of 1 means what? 7 plus 1 8 plus 1 9 plus 1 10 plus 1 11 plus 1 12 plus 1 13 14 15 16 and 17. Will we go till 18? No, because we need to go till 17. Beyond that, we cannot go. Now you take this similar example, another. So as it is like continuous same values, you will see the same answer, right? Fine. Now, if I go for the next option, if you see here, Python programming, again the same example. I am doing 7 to 18 with a step of 3. Means from 7 it will start. Seventh position is what? 7. Next, after 7 plus 3, 10. 10 plus 3, 13. 13 plus 3, 16. So 16 plus 3 is 19. But 19 is beyond this 18, right? So you get only these 4 characters. You can see that only the characters which are present in those positions you are getting. PG, MN. So hope you understood now how the logic is executing. But sir, what if I ask some weird condition? Means I'm asking 7 to 18 with a step of -1 I give. Generally 7 to 18 with a step of 1 means what? 7, 8, 9, like that it will come. But 7 to 18 with a step of -1 means, what is 7 minus 1? 6. Is 6 between these duration? Between this starting and ending? No. So as these characters are not between that, you get nothing. Means whenever you are giving any step, that should be between this starting and ending. Only then you get it. Similarly, one more edge case. This is one of the interview question actually. So if you see here, 7 to 17 to 7 with a step of -1. In the previous case, what happened? It gave 7 to 18 with a step of -1. But it is reverse, right? This is possible. 17 minus 1 is what? 16. So 16 is between these two? Yes. 15, 14, like that you get. Now, if I calculate, what I'll get? 17, 16, 15, 14, 15, like that till 8. You will not go to 7 because 7 is the last value. In the same fashion, so after generating these positions, it will give the characters at that position. Hope you understood now. Till now, you are getting the slice in the positive direction. Now in a reverse direction, right? As we are giving highest to lowest. Similarly, you give one more example. 17 to 66 with a step of -1. The same thing, but you will get one more character extra, right? You can see even the P also came. So that is what it works. So I have given like more examples here. Just walk through it, you will understand. Say one of the thing is like, you can go afterwards also. Generally, we have values from what position to what? 0 through 17, right? Sir, what if I give something like 18? What if I give a position which is like 18? So does it have anything at 18 position? No. Then what if you give at 18? So it will do like a -1. 18 minus 1 is 17, right? Generally 18, 6, this thing means it will generate all these values. But from 18, it don't have a value. From 17, it has. So for this index, it is minusing 1. So for everything, it will minus the same. You get the same answer, but slight changes. Why I'm telling this one for you is like, let me give you one more example. What if I give something like this one? Observe carefully. I am asking from 23 till 7. Does it have 23? No. Then what will happen? From 23, it will check. I don't have 22, 22, and like that it will come. Finally, at the 17th position, it has the values. So instead of giving these values like this, what it is does, as from 17 also it has, it is simple math. So 23 minus 17 means what? 6, right? So 6, it will subtract. In all these results, it will subtract 6. So, and the result should be within that. Hope you understood now. Initially, you got these many characters, but finally you got only these, and you are getting these values. It's okay. So you will learn. It's not a big deal. Slowly you will learn. Just do practicing. That's where you will learn a lot of things. Next, going further. So let me take the same example of the string slicing and evolve further. Say like I'm doing E2 of string slicing again. So I want to take more examples to help you understand. So till now we understood that this is a string slicing. So here we can work like this. So we understood the default step. But now I want to tell default starting index and default final index also. Means if you don't give a condition, then how it works? That edge case I want to show you. So means like, so till now we know this use case, right? If I give like 0 to 7 with a step of 1. So now I am showing you a new kind of case where just they give colon 7. If they just give colon 7, what do you mean? Whatever is given is the final index and the other twos are default. So the default starting index is 0. Default step is +1. Now, don't you think like both will give the same result? If I say clear and Python E2 so and so. Did you see both give the same answer? Does anyone have any doubt? Fine. Similarly, if I give for one more example, if I say 0 column, means I placed a column after the number, right? So it will treat whatever you gave as the starting index. What is the final index? If you don't give the final index, it is the length of the string. String length is 18 characters, so it will give 18. Sir, why not 17 means you should get till the end also, right? That's the reason. And step is +1. Hope you understood. What is this meaning? Similarly, one more example. If I give like C, 6 column, means first I give a number followed by column, means it will treat it like a starting index. So remaining to our defaults. Similarly, not only this, we can do something much more weird also. You may think weird at this stage, but in future, when you're running, you will feel this is an option. If I just write like a column, did you observe here? In this particular case, it was not written the starting index, final index, nor step. Now everything is default. The default starting index is 0. Default ending is length of string. Default step is +1. So this is same as this, right? Both were exactly same. And here, this is another option where you are doing 2 columns. In both cases, you are telling the same answer. Did you see? So all 3 gave the same answer. Of course, if you give like a column and 2 columns, it will give the same object, but creating like a new object, like a copy. New object will be created. That is a second thing. I will tell about when you're going for the copy module and others. But result will be the same. And one last edge case here is that when you go further, there is one more option. So here, if you observe, it is colon -1. So colon -1 means here it treats like a 1 colon number, means it's treating what you given as like a final index. So final index is 7. In this case, you give colon -1. So colon 1 means it will treat whatever you gave as a step. So starting and final index were defaults and the step was +1. In this case, you give colon 3 means it will treat it the step as 3. Hope you understood the difference between this syntax and this syntax. 2 columns and 1 column. So you get the values at that positions. Now, so the biggest magic of Python comes here. Many people who come from other languages envy Python because of these kind of things. So it may be a bit confusing initially, but think. Generally, there is an edge case. Till now, whatever the step we have given is either we didn't give or we have given as a positive. But have you ever given a negative step? Previously also we gave some negative step, but the values are there. But this is an edge case where the step is negative and the starting and final index were not given. In that edge case, the values and their positions will be reversed. What do you mean, sir? Simple. This is a concept called a string reversal. Generally, if you have a language, you should print like Python programming, right? That's what we are seeing every time. But if I do colon -1, the starting index will become length of string -1 instead of 0. Final index becomes like -1 instead of length of string. So the things will change. Now, did you see, instead of Python programming, don't you think it's like a mirror image? So, and similarly, if I go for like more examples, you will understand further about this concept of string reversals. Did you observe here clearly? If I do like colon -3, as starting and final indexes were not given and the step is negative, it's a string reversal and you get the values generated like this. Similarly, colon -5 means in a reverse direction, every 5th character. So you got like that. Similarly, let me give you one more example. Why every time Python programming? Let me take this example of a, say, Varun Dhawan. So Varun Dhawan, if I take like this example, so Varun is there, space is there, Dhawan is there. So I gave like both positive indices and negative indices, right? So fine. Now for this, if I print the name in a different ways, you get different things. Just me print. If you see in this example, you will notice that when I printed name, as it is, you got single column, all defaults, two columns, all defaults, colon, one means starting and final index were defaults and the step is +1. So colon, -1. You see colon, +1 and colon, -1. Did you observe the difference? The moment you give -1 at the end and the step for starting and final indexes were not given, then the roles will change and you get the same string in a reverse order, like a mirror image. So that is what I am planning to tell. But sir, what if I have one of the character given? Say I gave instead of colon, -1, 2 colon -1. In that case, it will not reverse. Observe carefully. If at least one of the positions were given, apart from this step, which is negative, then things will be same. So in general case, what is the final index? The length of the string. The same thing you get. So 2 till 12 with a step of -1. Similarly, if I give all, then also things will be fine. So as you wish. So this kind of things happens only when you do the reverse order. Now, a small assignment for you is that reverse each word of the sentence in the same order. Means, till now you know how to reverse a word, right? If I do colon, -1. If I give like today is a good day, you need to complete the assignment in such a way that it should output this one. That would see like this. How to do that? Give it a try. And the last point to mention again, you understood again, right? To refresh. So positive indexes means you give only one position. It will treat it like the starting index. It will treat it like the final index. So like that. So like that, different examples are there just for you to understand. And one last thing, you don't get confused with different kinds of things. Here it's like a very bad example. Here it was mentioned as 2 till -5. So it is confusing in fact. In fact, the logic is same. When you give 2 to -5, it will do what? It will give the values from 2 to 7 only. Sir, why -5 is changed to 7? So that's what I'm trying to say. Either you rely on positive indices or you rely on negative indices. Don't try to combine both. So if I give like -5 is literally referring to the same 7th position, right? So you get the same answer. But don't do this kind of way. This is not a good way of doing. Now let's go for a small example, real-time example. You will learn. So if I go for something called as palindrome checks, string palindrome checks. This is the most common example that you do when you are going for any exam. Palindrome means like any string. If you reverse also, it should be the same. If I take the example of a dad, if you reverse also, it becomes dad. Mom, if you reverse also, it will become mom. So what if I say daddy? Not a palindrome, right? So like this. Now, if I need to write an example for the palindrome, how to do that? Now let's take the algorithm as we did for every real-time use case. What should be the algorithm? So first, step one, I need to take the value in runtime and store in a variable. I'm taking the value in a runtime and storing in a variable. So test or like input string. Input string is equal to, I write, what is the input string? Input of enter any string. Hope you know this option. Now I am asking to print this input string. Input string. So what I can say, colon is equal to like this. Here and Python f so and so. If I give something like a dad, so it is printing the input string now. Now, so for this, we need to get the reverse string. Reverse string. Say like reverse string is equal to, how to get the reverse string? For the input string, we need to do colon -1. Hope you remember this option. Now, if I need to print this reverse string also, what I can do? I can print both the things. If I say like dad, the reverse string is also dad. As both are same, so we can do it. So how to do that, check? So there is some built-in function, operator called as equivalence. Input string equal to means two equals, not one equal, reverse string. So if I do like, I will get the answer. If I print it output, you will see the output now. If I say dad, I get it is true. Similarly, if I give one more example, if I give like, daddy, so the reverse is not same, right? It is false. If you want to further extend, so you can write like something called as an if condition. Means whatever the logical operation, this is called as the logical operation, you place it here. If both were equal, then you can print that input string, so comma, is a palindrome. So if you want, we can write like else print of input string is not a palindrome. If I execute now, this time you will understand. If I give like dad, it will print dad is a palindrome. If I execute again, and if I say daddy something, it says it's not a palindrome. So like this, we created one real function, right? Fine. Next, going for the next thing called as string attributes. So what is the concept of an attribute? How it can help us? Generally, what is an attribute means like for every object, there will be some use cases. Let's take a simple analogy. If I take pen, pen has its own usages, right? Having a features are different, usages are different, right? So pen has a usage of writing, drawing, etc. Mobile phone, many things. So like that, for every object, there will be some things. Even in Python, it is called as an object-oriented programming language. Though we never use like a class till now, but it is still treated so. If I execute, see here, language equal to Python programming. If I say language, till now we know. If I ask type, it will show the data type of that thing, right? So for every object, you can ask the type. It will tell what it is. If you say it is saying of type string. Next. Till now, we know that if you want to know the total number of characters present in the string, we can have a built-in function called as len, which will give the length of it. But now you will learn a new thing, new built-in function called as id. It's very interesting. Very few languages has this concept. To know the address location where the object is stored. Sir, what will you do with this address location? Sometimes if you want to verify whether two objects are different or not, this plays a very crucial role. I will let you know the usages of it shortly afterwards, but this is different. Length will give the total number of characters. ID will give the address location where it is stored. And observe carefully, I run the same program multiple times. Did you observe that length is not changing, but address location will change? Means every time when your program is run, it will pass this to the memory, right? RAM. So there it will store and then run. So this way you can understand how it is working. So address location will change very often, but so length will be same. Now coming to the use cases, like a pen has a features and usages I told, right? In the same fashion, if you want to know the usages of any object, not just string, you can do dir. Even in future, if I don't know anything, initially I do dir to understand what are the attributes involved, and then I work with it. So these attributes were related to the type. As it is a string, string has these attributes. If I go for integer, the attributes will be different. For other data type, different. So there are like too many attributes, right? For strings. Observe carefully. And here we don't deal with the things which have underscores on either side. Why we don't deal with the things which have underscores on either side means very simple example. Let me take a very first example. I'm writing like empty print such that you will see a one print line. If I have two words called as Taj and Mahal, and observe carefully, I can have one of the string like a single quote, one of the string can be double quote. I can have this kind of combination also. And if I want to combine these two strings, what is the string concatenation operator? Plus. This is called a string concatenation operator. See, the same plus we can use for multiple things. If it is integers like addition, if it is strings like this, the further we can see the same thing. And the same result we can also achieve with one of the attribute called as underscore underscore add. So means like, see here what I am doing. Did you observe that this line and this line? Means instead of a plus operator, we are using this underscore underscore add attribute. In fact, both will give the same result. There is nothing difference. So with this, what you understood? Either you can use underscore underscore add or a plus operator. Now tell me as an individual, will you be comfortable using the plus operator or underscore underscore add? In generally, people will prefer add operation. So like that, for all these underscore underscore attributes, there is some way or the other replacement. So another example to consider is like, let's take length. Till now, we know if you want to get the length of a string, you need to do like this. But in the back end, when you do length built-in function also, it will call this attribute. So both will do the same job. Then which one do you prefer? The length built-in function instead of that underscore things. Similarly, so one more interesting thing in Python is very unique. Python is a strictly typed language. You cannot add two different data types, but you can multiply two different data types. So a string can be multiplied with an integer, but not a float. You cannot multiply with a float, but integer we can multiply. So either you can use the multiplication operator or you can use underscore underscore mul of this thing. In fact, both ways it will create a string repetition operation. Means like it will give the values like this to you. So did you see that all were things like repeated? The same thing repeated multiple times. Similarly, if you want to do convert anything to a string, of course this is a string. There are different kinds of strings. So you are seeing something called as REPR. So this is like first time you're seeing a new type of string. Means within the strings also there are two types, string and REPR string. REPR means raw representation string. What is this raw representation? You may not understand now, but subsequently when you're going for the objects conversion, that's where you'll understand. So if you want to convert anything to a string, generally we use str, right? We can use REPR also. The only difference is REPR is like a raw representation. To show that it is like a string, it will add this quotes extra. That's the only difference. But either you can use the str built-in function or underscore underscore str, or REPR built-in function or underscore underscore REPR. So like that, we can use anything. If I ignore these options, what else we have? Still, we have a good number of attributes if you start from here. We will not learn all of them in this order. It's better to learn whenever as per their order. Then we can better remember. If I say there's attributes like this, you see here, for a given string, we can do this kind of manipulators. A string can be converted to capitalize. Capitalize means only the first character will be capital. Whereas title case means every word first letter will be capital. Observe the difference. Capitalize means only the first character in the sentence will be capital. Whereas title means every word first letter capital. Upper means all uppercase, lower means all lowercase. Swap case, this is very interesting. So in the initial input, you have P capital and remaining small. And again, programming P capital, all small, means title case. So it is doing the reverse of it. Whenever you have a smaller case, it will convert to capital. If you have a capital, it will convert to lower. Okay, this is fine for English characters. What if you go for the non-English characters? So there is something like der Fuss. So Fuss is like, yeses. It's a, German word. So if I do, so whenever you are working with the non-English characters, if you want to unfold, a simple example for you is like, in Telugu, we have something called as Bandira. So we seldom use it, but we prefer to use it like Ra, right? So like that, every language have a replacement characters. If you want to use that, that's where you can go for something called as case fold. So instead of this so this is like a German character, so we can replace with two S's. So like that it works. This case fold will unfold to the other replacement character.